Hey, what's going on, guys? Steven here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to my Quiet Place Part 2 review. I just reviewed the first one a few days ago, so check that one out if you haven't seen it. I really enjoyed it. This was a first time watch for me. The first one, as I said in that video, I seen it before, but I was just in dire need of a rewatch. This Part 2 one I had never seen before. I have no memory of it at all. So it was a fresh watch for me, and I think that was the best way to go into it, not knowing anything. So without further ado, let's talk about The Quiet Place Part 2. So we start off this movie with a flashback that I thought was really cool. It goes back to day one. It shows the family at a baseball game and they see asteroids, or we don't really know what they are. I'm guessing they're some type of spaceship because it's intended that that's where these aliens came from. They're flying through the air, everyone's panicking, the aliens start attacking people. So it's a really cool opening scene. I don't want to spoil it too much, but very good cold opening. And then we cut to literally right after the first movie ending, and they are still running from the monsters because they're getting overloaded. They have to move from this farmhouse that they were at in the first movie, and they run over to Emmett's house, which is their neighbor that we met in that flashback to day one. The dad and Emmett were talking at the baseball game, and he's played by Cillian Murphy, which I thought he did an amazing job. So his base is kind of where this movie takes place. They are now living with him, trying to take care of this baby. And basically the gist of this movie is the daughter finds out that there is a radio signal coming from an island. It's playing Beyond the Sea on loop, and she thinks they're playing that as a signal saying that there's someone out there on that island that can help. And so she kind of runs away, and that's the gist of this movie. Emmett goes after the girl and tries to find her, while the mother and son and baby stay back. And I think the mother even eventually goes out to try to find the daughter as well. So it has a really good story setup. It's original. It's not the same as the first movie, so it's kind of still fresh, and it has the same, if not even more, suspense as the first one. A lot more action. The daughter does eventually get to that island and finds a community of people. Which doesn't last long because the aliens get to him, and that's a really cool scene, really cool breakout. And I think Emily Blunt is even better in this movie, if I had to say so myself, because she is now alone and she has to be stronger, and I think she puts on a really good performance in this second movie. The kids also really shine in this sequel. Marcus and Reagan are kind of taking things into their own hands. Marcus is more on the side of wanting to stay in the base and stay safe, and Reagan's more wanting to go out and find a solution to this place, into this world that they're living in. She wants to find help, and I think they both do an amazing job. They're great actors and great characters. You don't get bored watching them at all. They're not annoying kids like most horror movies. You want to see what happens to them, and you want to root for them. And I like how this movie has the balls to actually kill off the dad. In most horror sequels, it would have probably come up that he somehow survived it and he is back for the sequel, but they didn't do that, and I really like that about it. It makes the story deeper, it makes the story better. You want to root for this family even more that it happened. And it just really builds on the emotional state of the movie and the characters, especially the mother. If I had one complaint about this movie, it's kind of a nitpick, but I think the mother could have grieved a little more over her husband's death. She does grieve, but I feel like it's kind of quick, and in real life, I feel like she would have grieved a lot more. But that's kind of a nitpick. Again, under the circumstances, they're still trying to hide from these monsters. This sequel is pretty much nonstop. The monsters are after them. There's not a whole lot of breaks. So I can understand kind of why her adrenaline is rushing, and she probably doesn't really have time to think about that. But it's, with the movie being set literally hours after he died, I would feel like she would show just a little bit more grief on her husband's death. But with that being said, I still think that this movie is great. It's a great follow-up, great sequel. Most sequels cannot live up to the original, but I think this one absolutely did. I'm going to give A Quiet Place Part 2 a 4.5 stars. I'm actually going to better it to the original just a little bit. That might be sacrilege to most people, but I honestly enjoyed this one just a little bit better. It was a little more amped up. I think it had just slightly more suspense, although it's razor thin edge because that first movie had a lot of suspense. But I just think this movie was a blast. It was fun. It didn't slow down from the first one at all. The first one had the slow build up to learning what this world is and then seeing the monster for the first time and then them fighting the monster. This movie just starts out with them fighting the monster and it goes all the way to the end to fighting more monsters and more monsters. And I think it just put up for a very fun sequel that I'll probably pop in more than the original. So definitely go check out A Quiet Place and then check out A Quiet Place Part 2. It's a great double feature. Let me know what you guys think about it. Do you guys like the first one better? Like I said, slightly put the edge to the second one. So let me know what you guys think about that. Hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I will see you in the next one.